I'm very insecure in that area.
Okay.
So yeah.
So if you improve your writing skills,
Yeah.
so look at your life right now for a moment. I want you to imagine 6 months from now. Your writing skills have greatly improved in half a year. When you look at what you need to do in school, does that have the greatest positive impact for you?
Yeah, I mean, because writing skills, I think.
Your life, though.
Yeah, for what I want to do, I want to be in film and television. I want to do like casting for film and television.
Talk to me afterwards. I'll introduce you to people.
Okay. Or just anything in media or like, you know, professionally, like you have to.
So if you improve your writing skills right now, like if you were like, I'm clear, I'm confident, I can show it to people,
Yeah.
I wrote this, check this out,
Yeah.
great positive net impact on your life, that's your call. Congratulations.
Okay.
Thank you for talking to
Thank
us.
you.
We get so scared to talk about these things. I appreciate your courage. That was incredible, by the way. Can you give a round of applause for that? That was great. This is life right here. This is life. Can you go? And by the way, what was your name? Elisa. I'm so glad you did that. Here's why. Because so many times we start with, no, I don't want, no, and then you talk a little, then boom, there it is. Because when we move away from caring about looking smart and we care about effort, that's how we get there. See what I'm saying? That's hard work. Introspection process. Does everyone have their big goal?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Second one. Okay, I want you to write behaviors that go against this goal. Now, don't write anything yet besides the title. So here's how things work. You set a big goal. I want to improve my writing. I want to figure out the clarity of my profession. What's yours, Zoe?
We said it proactive and productive in my schoolwork.
Proactive and productive in your schoolwork. What's yours? What is it? To serve? So do you feel like you care more about yourself than others? Oh, actually showing up. Well, congratulations, you're here. Keep doing that. Okay? But no, that's very normal. Like, oh, you know, because student leadership, like Jason, do y'all know Jason Littfeld?
Yeah.
Dude's a rock star. He's up at Sunday at like 8 a.m. doing some community service somewhere, and I'm like, when does this dude sleep? You know what I'm saying? Like, the dude's amazing. So you may go, I want to get up Sunday. And then like the alarm ring, and you go, well, not today, right? So you want to show up more. It's beautiful, right? Here's what happens. This is normal, but you got to know what your normal is. We set this goal. We see all the excitement about what this goal could bring and do and have, and oh, it's amazing. But then you have behaviors that you do or don't do that go against the actual achievement of that goal. For example, I need to be proactive and productive with my schoolwork, but let me check Instagram real quick.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna look at a couple of stories. It's not a big deal.
2 hours later.
2 hours later,
Yes.
damn. Let me just, you know what mine is? Let me go check the NBA scores. And then it's like, how's Luka Doncic doing? I don't know. When's Kevin Durant gonna return? I go down the rabbit hole of like NBA storylines.
All doing good.
Yeah, right. This is my thing. It's my thing. So what happens is so let's say I have a goal. If I notice I go to NBA.com more than once, that means like there's a problem. Because what happens is these activities, there's something called activation energy. This is an important concept. Activation energy. Every task has a certain amount of activation energy to do that task. Checking Instagram stories, 0 activation energy. Whoop, whoop, boop, boop, boop. Y'all ever not like stuff or comment, but you'll save it just so you can see it later, but then you never look at it? Yeah, I did it too. Right? But here's the thing, not a lot of activation energy, so it's easy to do. It might take you 2 hours, and then what happens is you go, man, for 2 hours I could have been working. But the work takes activation energy. Instagram don't take any activation energy. So what happens is it's easier for it to jump into a behavior that doesn't take a lot of activation energy to do. Does that make sense? Right? So what you want to do is, if you could, step out of your body metaphysically, right, and look at your life and observe yourself. What actions do you do that keep you from achieving this goal? Okay? Or what do you don't do? So for example, I'm going to go to you, Daquan. I would encourage you to say, okay, you need to have a sit down with a psychologist and interview them, have lunch with them, intern with one, see what their day-to-day is like, and ask yourself, could I see myself in these shoes? So a task you could take is emailing psychologists and asking them, hey, you take interns, right? It's New York, this right? You take interns, but you may find yourself not doing that thing, right? So that's a not doing activity. So there's things you don't do that move you towards your goal. And then there are things you do, like, that's funny. Like go on YouTube and look at dance videos, right? I don't know if you do that or not, right? But you might go on Instagram and be like, World of Dance. Be like, oh man, that's a hot fire, right? So you could do that, because that's something you're doing instead of the big goal. Because it's fun, it's easy, you enjoy it, it's simple. And there's things you don't do. Okay? So I want you to observe yourself now, not think about what do I do. Imagine you step out, what was your name? Georgina? So imagine you step out of your body and you observe Georgina. So you're not Georgina, you're looking at Georgina. What does Georgina do? Now, this is very important. A lot of the things you do, you will convince yourself you have to actually do them. Especially any parents in the room. I gotta take care of my kids. I gotta put my kids first. Then you start folding their sheets for them. It's like you don't gotta fold their sheets. But you start doing that because you convince yourself, I gotta take care of my kids. So instead of doing the work you need to do, you start folding sheets. That's what we do. And then you convince yourself it's okay, because I'm being responsible. But in reality, if you can observe yourself, what activities do you do that take you away from your goal? Mine are very clear. It's NBA.com. It's looking up like storylines in NBA. If I start doing that for too long, I'm messing myself up. Instagram. And Instagram is so funny because my Instagram, when I go to the search feed on Instagram, it's like top 10 best dunks. You know, top 5 killer crossover. Like, I just like basketball, right? So they're like, I watch it, and then the more I watch, the more they learn my behavior. The more they learn my behavior, the more they keep serving up exactly the type of video I want to watch. So if I'm on Instagram too, I actually have, there's this thing called App Block. It's a free app. So I can only be on Instagram or Facebook for 25 minutes each per day. Then after a while, that app pops up, and then I can't access the app anymore.
What's the name?
App Block is what it's called. It's free.
Okay, is there like a way for you to go around the app? Because I know me, I'll go around the app. And
Yeah, I mean, if I go into App Block and I disable it, then yeah. But I can't, like I can't allow myself to do that,
Okay.
right? Like, unless it's like, oh snap, this client just messaged me on Facebook and said, if you don't get a contract back to me in 30 minutes, we gotta go with someone else. And then my App Block jumps off, I'm about to disable that bad boy and get that contract. But if it's just like, oh, I really wanted to see Kim Kardashian's story, like, no, like, that doesn't count. So you gotta literally say, like, it's just a no. I won't disable it. So here's the other thing. You're intentional about your 25 minutes. When you don't have a limit to social, some of y'all would be embarrassed. Straight embarrassed if you actually saw how much time you actually spent on some of these things.
I know.
Right?
Have the thing that
We
tracks
would
it.
be. We would just. I read a study that said like teenagers spend 6 to 7 hours a day on their phone, and I was like, that seems low.
That's how we work on
That's exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like that stuff is.
It's challenging.
I know. So my point is, you got. I have observed my behaviors, and because I've observed my behaviors, I try to put things into place to help me. But we're not at that step yet. We just want to observe the behaviors for now. Yes.
I follow Warren Buffett on Instagram because I want to be like him one day. And he's always talking about, like you're saying, like don't go on the internet, but he's always saying that you should be on the internet because that's where the majority of the money is being made.
Intentionally though, that's the difference. Warren Buffett ain't commenting on people talking trash like him. You get that? Warren Buffett ain't be like, hey man, how can you say that thing? You never seen Warren Buffett at somebody. The difference is if you're on it and that's your business and you're learning, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But like, how many top 5 dunks do I need to watch? You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta observe myself. But if I'm like I watch a lot of YouTube videos for content and like learning, that's fine. But like I said, like if I watch more than 2 to 3 top 10s, there's a problem. That's what I'm saying. Okay. All right, so please make a list. Observe yourself. What are your behaviors that go against your goal that you either do or don't do? The more brutally honest you are,
The better.
and by the way, you do not need to understand why you do these things. You just need to observe that you do them.
Be aware.
Okay. How do you procrastinate though? Yes. Yes. Sure. Right. That's what I want you to write down. I play Candy Crush. I play Jewel of Rome. Okay? Yeah. So that's the behaviors that you're doing instead of that. Oh, yeah. So you're clear, Candy Crush is the behavior that you do that goes against that ultimate goal of writing the paper. So you observe it, because I don't play Candy Crush, you do. So your behaviors are different than mine. Now someone else in here may play Candy Crush, and that's fine if it's similar, but you just want to be aware of what are your behaviors. Write them all down.
And you don't?
What's that?
The things you don't do?
There's also things you don't do. So for example, if I'm supposed to email a psychologist to set up an internship meeting, and I don't email them, that's a don't activity. Yes.
Question, so for the behaviors, for example, how do you transition it from trying to separate what exactly that you have to do as it is affecting like your career? So for example, you work for it, but you're constantly doing it. So if I'm a technician and I'm trying to monitor like the social media, but
Yeah.
also my job support.
What's the example?
So
Monitoring.
Facebook, for example.
Yes.
I'm getting on Facebook
Yes.
versus rather than working on Facebook. I have that conscience that my brain literally sits there like, oh, check Facebook, 20 minutes post.
So you're saying checking Facebook is part of your job?
So yeah, as a technician,
Yeah.
what I do is for the schools, I will go to classrooms, I have to lock down.
Is there a difference between the behavior you do for the school and the behavior you do for yourself?
Yes.
You want to be clear on the behavior you're doing for yourself. Because like if I got to go on Facebook for the school, it's probably not nearly as interesting as the stuff I'm doing for myself, I would argue. Is that fair? So like, I don't need to look up Kylie Jenner for the school's work, right? But if I'm noticing I'm looking up Kylie Jenner, even though I'm on Facebook, so I'll go, oh no, this is my work. That's probably not a work activity. So what you want to get clear on is when you are on social, what tasks are you doing that actually are not actually part of the reason why you're up there? Because the other part is your mind can jump. Oh, I can check it real quick and jump back. Oh, this just jumped in my feed. But if you know, oh no, this is a behavior that keeps me from my goal, you just need to be aware of what it is. So even though going on Facebook is a general term, what are you doing on it that's outside of your work? That's what I'd like for you to write down. Okay? Good question.
I have a question.
Yes?
I don't know, when you feeling that time is running and you need to be productive, just have the feeling you need to be productive and time is running,
Yes.
is that really bad?
Yeah, it's whatever you decided to be. Some people, by the way, and I know this type of person because I am that person, I love waiting till the last minute because I have an identity and I'm working on it. I'm aware of it. I have an identity that says I perform under pressure.
Yeah.
I have an identity that says there's 2 seconds left to the game, we're down by 1, pass me the ball. I want to take that shot. So what happens is if I'm not under that pressure, sometimes I think I don't perform as well. So a lot of the times what I do, which causes a lot of stress, and I'm sure it does for you as well, is you purposely put yourself in these positions where you need to perform. Because your identity says, I got that. You got to work on that. Yeah.
So being able to watch yourself and catch yourself,
Yes.
that's the most important. Catching yourself is a distraction.
Observing it is super big.
So the
Super big.
distraction, watching the distraction, catching yourself.
catching it. Yes, that's why it's super important. By the way, that's all meditation is, by the way. If you ever hear people talk about the positivity, I don't say that's all there is, that's too general of a statement. There's a lot to it, but one of the biggest aspects of meditation is being able to observe your thoughts. Because if you can step away and observe your thoughts, you can observe things so much more clearly, including your own behaviors and actions. Because what happens for 90% of us is like we jump on our phone and we get into this cave where like nothing else exists, and we think it's like, you know, it's not a big deal, and it's like, why did 2 hours go by? Like, you wouldn't sit down and watch a movie for 2 hours, right, typically, but you will sit down and look at 60-second videos for 2 hours, right? That's what happens. Meditation, what it helps you do is observe yourself and your behaviors, so if you can observe yourself, you can do something quicker than if you're just in the flow.
You observe the patterns of your mind,
Yeah.
and then you can actually change them.
100%. The analogy that I was given